All right. Welcome to the Good Rookies podcast. My name is Faheem.
And my name is Nelly J, and we are Good Rookies.
That's right.
What up, y'all? We are Bizak, episode 12. And also, it's our birthday week. I know all our followers and all of our family, you saw it was our birthday. So, Faheem, happy birthday, bro.
Happy birthday to you, too.
Thank you. Scorpio, gang, right? So we're so excited, guys. We have an amazing guest on our episode today. So Faheem, please introduce who we got.
Nice. So we have Aaron Manswell. He's a writer.
Sorry.
He's a writer. He's a producer, composer, and also a former educator.
Yeah.
So let's welcome him to the show.
Aaron,
hey.
What's up, man?
What's up, guys? Thank you for having me. I didn't realize it was y'all's birthday.
Yeah. We're back to back. Like I was Tuesday, Faheem was Wednesday.
Yep, she's the third, I'm the fourth, right?
Hey, so I mean that's why you guys have such great chemistry, no?
Oh, no doubt.
Probably, yeah.
I think so.
I've been listening.
So Aaron, I'm not sure if you saw this week, but something went viral. The president, Obama Barack, he got some game. Like he got a little basketball going on right now. Like he was shooting like a J. Cole in an empty gym.
Yeah. I wasn't shocked by that, mainly because Obama, he's done that during his presidency, right? It's just, to me, it just adds to his overall just coolness, right? His overall just drip. Like he just has it, he has whatever it is that just makes him cool. He just keeps proving it over and over again. And I think it was also during Biden's campaign or something, or
I think they stopped off at a court or something.
Yeah, and I'm like, whoa, this could actually help him too. It could help Biden too, right? So it was a good look for him.
Yeah, when I seen Obama, so it was one of those things where it had its moment. It went viral that night. It came across my feed, and I seen it just empty, like pretty much empty gym. Few people in the gym, baseline, do the 3-up. But the funny thing is, if you listen closely, there's like the gym is silent, and the ball's in midair. And I don't know if you guys caught it, but when it's in midair, you hear and then it goes in. And that, if you listen closely, that's the sound of somebody who, when you shoot and, you get the release and there's something about it that just might feel off for a moment. Yeah. So I'm not sure if he felt confident all the way that it went in, because the ball's in the air and I hear, and then it goes in. And then he goes, oh, that's what I do. Yeah, I mean,
listen, his mechanics look good.
No, that's true. That's true.
Lethal Shooter will be proud.
No, true. And that's one thing.
Lethal Shooter. Nah, man. But what I loved was the swag, like Aaron said. Like this guy has LeBron just drips in swag. Like if you want to go to swag school, just study like Barack. Like his swag is so phenomenal. That's what I do. And the masks come off. I'm like, okay, Mr. President, like forever President Barack. And I hope. Currently right now, votes are still being counted. So let's just cross that. We're in Canada, so we're not really attached, but I would like to see Biden winning.
Yeah, well, we'll see how that plays out. But yes. with Barack Obama, with the shot, you got to be good to be lucky. So it was no fluke. You know what I'm saying? He threw it up, hit it, own it.
It was a legit 3-pointer.
I'll give you that. I'll give him that.
Almost out of bounds too.
So Aaron, you're a very talented young man, you're a composer, you're a writer, you produce, you're educator, you've taught like instruments from all walks, right? So, but I noticed though on your Instagram, right, you always you actually compose songs that are kind of artistic around a basketball scene or play, right? So last year I saw you did it for the shot, Kawhi corner, double bounce, and then in.
You gotta be aware of the inbound here.
So yeah, talk more about that. So like, why do you kind of do that, and like, what's your goal in regards to composing more of these types of songs contributes to these players?
Well, first of all, I just finished my master's in music composition, and so I went to the University of Memphis, and pretty much any musical grad school program or just any formal program within music composition, you're going to be learning how to compose music from more of the Western kind of European side of things. So in other words, classical music, right? And my goal was just to kind of expose the sports world, or combine the sports world with that world. And my two loves, of course, would be music and basketball. And so I said, how can I do that? And especially with the fact that we were all locked down for how many months during COVID, it was the perfect time to just experiment and start certain things, right? And so while I was in school, I met this composer who gave me a lesson for free. And he exposed me to this sound pack, and it's called Note Performer. And I am trained on this thing called finale, by where you score out all the notes and everything like that, and it takes hours. But he gave me the sound pack, and the sound pack sounded so real. It sounded like an orchestra, right? And it sounded like somebody who was sounded like a full live orchestra playing. And so I said, how can I put this within the video and whatnot? So I just started experimenting and figured that let me just take the best moments that I can remember of recent memory and try and create a movie score behind it, right? And try and make it more theatrical. What would that sound like if these instruments were narrating what that shot and sounded like? What emotion would that evoke? And I did my best. I mean, these videos as well, I did the Kawhi. I called that one Boardman Bounce because it bounced around the rim 4 times. Then after that, I came out with the Iverson Step Over, because to me that was one of the most disrespectful, things you could ever do to anybody, just period, in basketball. And these videos all took at least maybe 6-7 hours each. Yeah, it's the time, trying to get the timing to to get the music to match the bounce and the step over, and that's probably the hardest part. And then the easiest part is coming up with the melodies to match whatever I'm seeing, right? And so it's super fun for me. It's just a way that I can expose people who are in the sports world to the classical world too. And hopefully I can just maybe one day just come up with a whole mixtape or something with all those compositions, and hopefully people will want to listen to it.
That is dope, because when you think of ball, obviously hip hop music is obviously an obvious choice. Like, kids doing mixtapes now, hip hop, just a culture, right? That's so original. Just the fact that you've taken classic or classical music and blended in with hip hop, and it's dope. Like when I saw the Kawhi and the bounce and just the strings, and I was just like, yo, like this is so, I've never even thought of this before. So, I have to rate you for that,
Oh, appreciate it, bro.
Yeah, man, for sure. And folks, we'll definitely have a link to Aaron's Instagram so you can kind of watch his creations.
Right. Well, think about it.
Hey, maybe Aaron, create an Instagram page called, I don't know, classical, some kind of name for it. Remember, because it's still brand new. And then you can promote this movement. Because I'm sure a lot of classical fans may also like sports. And maybe you're the first person that's actually doing this. So it's a movement.
Well, like you're saying 6 hours for, how long is the clip? Each clip's about 30 seconds, would you say?
Yeah, it's about 30 seconds.
So, it's a lot of work goes in, and for the 30 seconds that the viewers taken to watch, they can appreciate it. Like I was really impressed. So I recommend it. We'll put a link at the end, and people can actually check out your work for sure.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it.
Yo, that's light. So let's go into, we got some topics we can go over, zoned in, where we just kind of focus in on some of the hot topics that's happening around in all sports. Our first one we got up to bat right now is we have with the NBA season looking to start. The NBA Board of Governors got together and they're talking about a possible December 22nd date for 72 games.
Money. Aaron, your thoughts on this? Like, do you think they should start December, or do you think they should have waited because, players just we're just playing ball up until October.
Well, I mean, the first thing that comes to my mind naturally is the draft, which is supposed to be taking place on November the 18th.
Right.
And just how much time the players who are being drafted have to get acclimated with whatever franchise they're being drafted to, whether it's plays, whether it's, I don't know, just the overall culture. You know, whereas somebody who was drafted last year would have had a few months to get through that stuff. And I also think about just the fact that there were a lot of teams that were not in the bubble. And and that's the majority of the league. So the majority of the league might be okay with it because they've been resting, right?
Over resting,
right? So I kind of see both sides, but in my mind, I'm just thinking about these little rookies, right? How they're gonna adjust in such a short amount of time.
Yeah, and also like I think the NCAA also ended, right? In what, April, because of COVID, Faheem, right? COVID. So the rookies haven't been playing ball, probably playing, in their gym, but I've actually been playing professional basketball or playing in high intensity games since March, and they lost their March Madness. So it's like, how do you assess these rookies outside of March Madness? Yes, it's hard. So like, who are you drafting based on just what, regular season? Because I think March Madness, you can really see a potential of players in the major leagues, right? So I just feel that there was no championship for NCAA tournament. There was no March Madness. There was nothing. So you're drafting players kind of like, I think he's good. I'm hoping he's okay. Like it's kind of weird. And then you mentioned a month to acclimate to the NBA league, and some teams don't even know where they're playing yet.
Training camp is going to be December 1st. Apparently, that's what they're looking
so
for.
22 days to train. I just feel like we're going to see a lot of bad basketball. I think the first month will be a lot of like bricks, like just awkward like moments, awkward plays, because so I think the first half will be really like embarrassing, and then probably pick it up once everyone gets used to playing more. But I think it'll be a gong show. Like I think on Christmas Day, I'm gonna be like, what the hell are we watching? Like, what is going on? But from what I noticed though, I did see that I did see that LeBron, he made a comment that he will be nitpicking, right? Like what to play and when to play, because he's bust. Guy's old, right?
He's gonna be doing load management.
Yes.
Page from Kawhi.
That's what he said. Yeah. But I think they'll all be doing load. I think most players on the Lakers as well as the Heat, like they're all mash up. Let's be real.
Right. And I was just gonna say that another thing too, to add to your point about the rookies. So as stated before, I went to the University of Memphis. So I had the chance to actually see James Wiseman play for just those 3 games. I mean, matter of fact, I used to work out in the gym, and I used to just see him there just shooting hoops one time. So, and he's like a legit 7 feet, right? Like not one of those 6'9", he's legit 7 feet. But anyways, he played 3 games, right? Like you're basically just drafting him off of those 3 games, and you're not really getting any more time to see him after that too. So just to add to your point,
That's a good point. University of Memphis is Penny Hardaway coaching there?
Yeah, so he's basically the mayor of Memphis.
Okay, that's what I figured. Yeah, like
pretty much.
in college, watched Penny, and I did hear he's coaching. Didn't get a chance to see him coach at all, but yeah, shout out to Penny Hardaway, by the way. It's a legend right there still.
Completely changed the program over there. Got a national, I forgot what it's called. I think it's a national media day. For the first time in a long time, where all a bunch of NBA scouts came to the University of Memphis and started scouting. So that was all because of Penny's pedigree.
Wow. So in regards to so there's a few things here. First, in regards to rookies, of course, a lot of the rookies right now aren't going to have the runway to draft. So scouts are going to have to go off kind of old tapes, I guess, workouts, etc. Right. So I get that point. But if you think of, I think the bigger concern for me is a lot of the teams, say for instance, you weren't invited to the bubble. That means your last season game would be like, see, we're talking about over resting. And like, I really think these teams now, these are teams that weren't invited to the bubble because they weren't playoff caliber. So when the season starts now, I think it's good to get them back in the rhythm. So it's going to really benefit them. But on the flip side, you have a team like the Lakers who goes deep in the playoffs, and LeBron's pretty much, I need to recuperate. LeBron puts a lot of money into his body. You know what I'm saying? Actually, I just read the other day that Russell Wilson, he apparently puts about $1 million per season into his body, like LeBron also.
Yeah.
The chambers he goes in, the staff, everything. So I can understand why LeBron obviously is going to be in a situation where he's in no rush to come back. Also, with the Lakers in the lineup where they have, he can afford to load management at least for the first part of the season.
Yeah, you'll be all right.
He'll be good. But I do think that, it definitely comes down to money. We know that, there's about, was it half a billion to $1 billion can be lost in revenue if they bump it back. And then you have the Tokyo Olympics that's supposed to be coming up. So they want to get this season shortened in time for the Olympics, which brings me to this. With the Olympics, with the 72 games that we have for the regular season right now, if this goes through, see how they say about asterisks with the bubble? Are people going to consider the 72 game season an asterisk, do you think? Like, are they really going to rate it like an 82? It's only 10 games, I know, but people can get picky, right?
I mean, listen, 82 games to me is way too much, first of all.
Way too many games.
72 is still up there.
Right.
But then my mind goes back to, I think it was the 2012 Heat, or which Heat team was that won the championship, their first championship?
I can't remember the year, but
so that was a lockout season, right? I think it had like
it was a shorter season. I think the first time they won, it was the walkout season.
Yeah, and nobody that I know of, at least that I discuss basketball with, puts an asterisk on that title.
True.
So
yeah.
Good point. So let's transition this. Let's go to Steve Nash for a moment. Steve Nash.
Poor Nash.
No, so Steve Nash took over at Brooklyn, head coach. When he first took over, some controversy of, he's a first year, rookie coach, etc. Right? Now he's finally assembled his staff behind him, and his staff that he has behind him is he has Mike D'Antoni. He has who does it? Is it? I can't pronounce his name. Popovich's right hand man. Ime Udoka. Right, but it's Ime. It's IME, but I've never heard it, so I don't know how to pronounce it. It's IME, so it's Ime. Okay, there you go.
Ime or Ime.
Okay, so we'll go. He's got D'Antoni. He's got Popovich's right hand man. He's got Amari Stoudemire. He's also got Thiago Splitter. We all remember Splitter.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, he's a player development coach. Yeah, he's a player development coach also. So he's got a lot of old players. This is kind of Phoenix, the remix.
Yeah, and I feel like wasn't D'Antoni his coach? Mike?
It was. So D'Antoni was his coach. Played with Amari Stoudemire. First of all, I'll shoot this to you, Aaron. What do you think of this Phoenix remix bench boss stuff?
Well, I mean, can I go back to Steve Nash first?
Sure.
I think I just have so much respect for that guy. Just being in the States for school and stuff, and you kind of just get to see how the Americans look at Canadians, just in terms of their knowledge about basketball. And it's kind of demeaning at times, because they think that we all just play hockey and whatnot. And so, it's great that you see someone like Steve Nash, who is a Canadian and who's unapologetically Canadian, getting a head coaching position. I'm very, very proud of him for that. And I just like the fact that he also decided to bring people who he was most successful with in his career along. The staff that he brought, it's going to be interesting because there's a bunch of people who could be head coaches, right? He's the first one. This is his first time being a head coach and whatnot. But I do think that he he has enough pedigree to command the respect of all those people, right? When you look at D'Antoni was the one who just kind of gave him the offense. You know what I mean? So D'Antoni trusts him, right? Even though he's his head coach. When you look at Amari Stoudemire, that's the guy that, you know, he was receiving all his assists from and stuff. So these are guys that, you know, he has that bond and that trust with him. As far as their style of play and whatnot, it's hard to gauge, but we do know it's going to be fast, right? We don't know the ball's going to move simply because we have that Spurs, you know, Ime, Udoka, and then we have, you know, D'Antoni. So we know the offense is going to be crazy, right? And we have KD and Kyrie, two of the most dynamic offensive players we've ever seen. Splitter, that's another Spurs guy. The ball's gonna move. The ball's gonna, it's gonna move, and it's gonna be good that it moves on that Brooklyn team, just because there's gonna be so many different offensive weapons, right?
Yeah. No, honestly, I look at it as Steve Nash was like, yo, this KD and Kyrie people, they're gonna cause confusion. So I'm gonna bring my people up in here that I trust, that has my back, and that will always like have my back, because he's in a hostile situation. You know what I'm saying? So when you are in a hostile situation, you got to bring people along that you trust, that's like blood to you. And I think he did that. He brought people that he trusts, that he knows that if things go down with Kyrie or KD, they got his back and they will handle them. You know what I'm saying? I think he has some really strong personality in his team. I think Steve Nash acknowledges that he's not experienced. So I'm like, you know what a good example of, you know what, I know I don't have this, the pedigree of coaching. So I'm gonna bring people that have been coaching for the last 3, 4, 5 years, or even longer, that I can learn from. You know what I'm saying? It's like always being a student. And I think Steve Nash, like you said, he's a great student mentality type of player. Even on the court playing ball, he always adjusted, always learned. I think in coaching, if he put the same work ethic as he did in ball, he will do exceptionally well. So I think he brought his own gang to Brooklyn, and I think he'll be more confident and more comfortable now in that role. So big up Steve Nash.
For real, I think that Steve Nash. So sometimes it's like singers. You have sometimes a backup singer might be a better singer than the lead singer. You know, like lead singers oftentimes have to rely on the strength of their backup singers to make them even stronger, right? And that's how I kind of see Steve Nash. Like he's come into a situation where he's a rookie coach. GMs often will times allow the coach to pick his coaching staff. And you can tell by the way he went around of building his staff with people around him, having D'Antoni, who right now can be a head coach in the NBA right now.
Absolutely.
Having Stoudemire, who's could be like the big man aspect, you know what I'm saying, understanding the front court aspect of it, you know what I mean? And then Ime Udoka, having him just having what he's, and if you come to the Greg Popovich school of coaching, you're good money. Yeah. So him alone having that, he just surrounded himself with a lot of competent pieces. You know, I mean, doesn't seem like a lot of things would overlap. And also, while he was in Phoenix, D'Antoni took a lot of the credit for, remember that the offense that they had, where it's just like shot up every 6 seconds. Yeah, remember early in the sorry?
7 seconds or less.
There you go. So D'Antoni takes a lot of credit for that, but apparently it was Steve Nash and D'Antoni together. So it was Steve Nash wasn't just someone who was on the court who was executing it. He's actually part of the development of this. Kind of reminds me of Tex Winter and Phil Jackson. You know, like the triangle offense. Phil Jackson gets all the credit for the triangle offense, but it's really Tex Winter, his assistant that was working with him, that actually refined it and actually brought it to Phil Jackson, right? So I think that's one thing we have to keep in mind with Steve Nash. He is really a great basketball mind. Like you can't take that away from him, right? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, just how he's went about putting his team around him goes to show that like he's for real. And I think we should like really keep an open mind in regards to what he's going to be doing in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say that I think if I read correctly that Amari, he's not really. I think he's a player development assistant.
Okay. So would that? When you say player development, I'm assuming he would be for the big men. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah.
Kind of like what
4 or 5.
What Jamal McGlure maybe would be for the Raptors.
Or,
Big Cat. You
exactly.
think?
I think so. Yeah. I'm not sure if Splitter has the same role either, but I know Amari's not in the same position as Ime or D'Antoni or
right.
Yeah.
Right, but it's still a solid squad on the bench. So keeping it in the Eastern Conference right now, there's another team, Philadelphia. They have so much things going on right now. Like they've made on the off season, believe it or not.
But they need to though, because they've been flopping though. They've been.
Really?
Yeah, top to bottom though, like not just keep personnel aside in regards to their front office, their management. Wow, think about this. They have Daryl Morey, who was the GM in Houston. He's over in Philadelphia now. You got extension with Eldon Brand at GM, and then you got Doc Rivers as a coach. So like you have a complete overhaul of a front office right there.
Big names.
Big names, man. Big names.
Big names. Yeah,
what do you think?
First of all, like Aaron, like I know you're a big Raptors fan. Are you afraid of Philly now with these changes? Like, are you concerned that Doc is going to make a change? That, you know what I mean? Like, are you concerned with Elton Brand hiring? Like, what's your thoughts on this as a Raptors fan and see what's happening in the East with like Philly?
Well, I mean, just aside from being a Raptors fan and just observing these two big names that they brought into Philly, I really think it has a lot to do with optics, and this might cause some controversy, but I think Doc Rivers and Daryl Morey are two guys that a lot of people give a lot of credit just due to optics. Like, I don't see why Doc Rivers, and don't get me wrong, he's probably a great coach as far as relating to the players, and because he was a player for so many years. But as far as like, I don't think we've ever seen Doc take a struggling team and just make them a winning team. Can we say that?
So when he's struggling team and winning team, no, but struggling team and overachieve and get them to the playoffs, yes.
Yeah,
because when he was in Orlando early in his career, he had a team that had no business being in near the playoffs. He had like Bo Outlaw was a star for them, and then he ended up taking them into the playoffs.
Yeah,
and he won Coach of the Year that year. So he's, and mind you, this is what, 15 years ago, or like it's a decade ago. So it's a long time ago. So he might be living off of yesterday's successes. So I can agree with that.
Yeah. And, just in terms of, the 08 championship with Boston, it's fine. I'm not hating on Doc or anything, but.
Right. I get you.
You can throw some other coaches in there and they probably would have gotten the same result too, having Hall of Famers, right?
Right.
With Daryl Morey, I think people are living off of the fact that he brought James Harden, which was a great move, because we all saw him in OKC and said, man, that guy's got some serious talent.
Right.
Wonder if he had his own team. And Daryl Morey pulled off that trade. And, he did some good stuff in terms of surrounding James Harden with the right pieces and stuff. They just could never get over the hump. And
but but like, did he though? Because what have they done in Houston? Like, I feel like he's getting a lot of like praises for bringing James Harden, but what have they done? They're too small. Like, their team is not built to win a ring, and everyone knew that at the beginning. We're like, James, bringing in Westbrook, what is that gonna do? Like, you know what I mean? So I'm not understanding, and I think this play might be to get James Harden to Philly, because I'm seeing a lot of rumors today about maybe James might leave Houston. I'm like, if he can pull off Harden going to Philly with what they have now, that's a big move. So I'm thinking him going there is strategy, and I'm not sure what the end game is, right? But I feel like there's something happening that we're not seeing yet. But he's there for a reason, for an actual reason. So we'll see what's happening. But I don't know. Houston, to me, like, they're not. Like, come on, Aaron. Like, Houston, like, you know this. Do you think they're ever going to win a ring with that current roster?
No. They're not winning any rings. No. But I was just going to say that I don't think Philly's winning anything anytime soon either.
Right.
Really?
No, I don't.
think if they get, okay, hold up. So if they were to get Harden on that team with who they have now, no?
Well, they have to trade either Ben or Joel.
Simmons.
That's right. For Harden to come, someone's gonna have to leave, and that's a hypothetical situation. So, like, maybe we should wait for another day for that.
Yeah, and I think I don't know. It's just me too. Like, Ben Simmons is what's holding them back from reaching the finals.
I think so too. I think Ben needs to go. If I'm Philly, this guy's going. Like,
so that's coming down to now GM makes those kind of decisions, right? Mm-hmm. And coming back to the extension of Elton Brand, me personally, I do not think that he deserves an extension.
Nah.
If you look at things of like a grocery list of good things you've done and bad things you've done, his bad things you've done is like a full plate. And the good things is just like, honestly, the best thing I think he's done is he's drafted Tice.
Well, that was him.
Tice. I think pretty sure he was the one that drafted Tice.
Well,
so Tice came in this year, so he would.
Was that last year, 2019, when he started as GM?
Well, let's hope that he drafted Tice, because if he didn't, then he has nothing to show for.
He has nothing, yeah. Because remember,
hold on, I need to go off on some major mistakes. One, what's the deal with offering Tobias Harris and Al Horford that type of money? Like, he gave them so you had options, and you also had Jimmy Butler. So you looked at the roster and you said, you know what? I have a choice between Tobias Harris and Jimmy Butler. And you chose Tobias Harris, and you let Jimmy Butler leave out of the state of Philadelphia. And JJ Redick.
And JJ Redick. Those two were the worst. To me, the worst moves last year. The worst.
There's certain things that
obvious moves.
There's certain things you can do and get overlooked, but in the year following that you had an extension, I don't know how management looked at Elton Brand and said, "Hey, Elton, you know what? You've put us in a position to get better." You know what I'm saying? There's nothing. Maybe getting Doc Rivers could be something that they say that the management looks at what he did with Elton Brand and getting Doc and saying, "Okay, you know what? You brought Doc in, but Doc just got fired." So Doc, he's on the market and he's just looking for a position. You know what I'm saying?
So rude, yo. He's so rude.
Like, honestly, if the Sacramento Kings had available, I'm pretty sure Doc would probably go to Sacramento. Like, you know what I'm saying? He just wants to be employed and then be in the league somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So it didn't take Elton Brand to bring Doc Rivers there.
Yeah, it didn't. I agree. I was just gonna add and say that, man, this guy, and don't get me wrong, I give him credit for being able to bring Tobias Harris, because first of all, nobody thought Tobias was going to be this bad. We saw what he did in Detroit and LA and whatnot. Like, the man was averaging 19, 20 a game.
A lot of potential
wherever he was, and plus he didn't even have to be the guy.
Right.
They had Jimmy Butler for that, right? And
Jimmy
Butler, I will never understand how you let that guy go. Like, I mean, I'm lost for words right now. I just don't know. And then JJ, it's like you're trying to build a team around Ben Simmons too, and you let JJ go. Like,
I would never have let JJ go at all. That guy, and also, like, for me, when Jimmy left, I first of all, I was so shocked that they let go of Jimmy, because in the playoffs, if you saw with the Raptors, he was the one player that gave us trouble. Like, he was the issue for us. Without Jimmy Butler, we would have swept them last year with Kawhi. Right? We would have swept them. Jimmy saved them in that playoffs to even to go to 7 games. So the fact that key player, defensively, offensively, his heart was in every game, and like, let him go.
I guess he thought that maybe Joel or Ben would turn into a closer or have that closing gene, having hung out with Jimmy Butler for half a season. I don't know. I'm trying to rationalize all of it. I can't rationalize that.
Yeah. Well, the ironic thing is, so they brought in Daryl Morey from Houston. Houston has a reputation of jacking up threes, right? And you put Morey on a team that Elton Brand, he put together. This is his creation. a team of nobody that can shoot threes. Like who on that roster can shoot threes? Nobody. So
is James Ennis still there? The guy that gave the Raptors.
Yeah. I don't think he is. But even if he was, he's hardly somebody that I'd say like he's something that someone I would rely on to shoot a three. You know what I'm saying? Like anyways. So best luck to Philly. Keep up the good work because we're all Raptor fans here. So you're doing us a favor. Thank you.
Sorry. So last question for you guys before we wrap up. Sorry, Faheem. I want to drop this in there. Do y'all think the NBA is going to have all that BLM stuff, like how they did in the bubble? Do you think all the social injustice messages are going to continue in the upcoming season? Because I think when they did it because they had to, because players were like, we're going to boycott, whatever. What's your thoughts on that? Do you think it's going to come back, or was it a one and done thing?
Real quick, it's a one and done.
I think it'll come back.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll see.
I think they'll have a little bit. Because remember, right, when they boycotted Faheem, remember they signed something with the NBA asking them to commit to certain things. So it may not be on the court, but maybe in the background. But I think in that agreement that they made in the bubble, I think they're going to have to do some stuff. Because if they come back, guys, with nothing on the court for BLM or anything for the movement, then the bubble was fake. All fake news. All fake.
So real quick, so the BLM so yes, in the bubble, but also part of the agreement was voting. And now, regardless how this turns out, voting's done. That's in the past by the time the season starts. So voting's not going to be on the agenda. That's one off the agenda. I have a feeling once voting slips off the agenda, you might see the BLM also, but we'll see. That's one for another day.
Well, stay tuned for that, y'all.
So Nelly J, let's go to For the Culture.
For the Culture, y'all. So that was the ending of Zoned In. That was a great discussion for him. Thanks for the leadway to For the Culture. So For the Culture with the highlights, items, anything that we think promotes the culture of Black educated Black entrepreneurs, anything that promote us to be better as human beings, period. So this week we want to highlight an individual that we think is for the culture. His name is Klay Thompson, okay? So what he's doing right now, for those who didn't know the news, whatever, so last week it was announced that he's actually backing a CBD brand, okay? CBD is a oil that's in cannabis, which is, as you know, in weed, right? So ingredient in marijuana. So this is something really interesting for him, because I know you just a background on this, but isn't marijuana like an item on the NBA list of things you cannot take, right? At all. But the fact that now he's backing this brand, the NBA is okay with that.
Right. So Klay Thompson, it's not just Klay Thompson, it's Klay Thompson, it's Alex Morgan, soccer star, Travis Pastria, he's motocross, and skateboarder Paul Rodriguez. So the four of them, they started this CBD oil brand. It's called Just Live. And Just Live, it's a natural alternative to painkillers for sports and fitness recovery. Reason why Klay would be a part of this, obviously, is coming off of that serious injury he's had. He's had to seek pain relief. And opposed to taking pills and opioids, Klay Thompson has been taking CBD oil. Now, here where it gets tricky, because so CBD oil actually derives from hemp. So an extraction from hemp, right? So there's in marijuana, there's THC, and THC is one of the substances that makes marijuana on the banned list. So it's kind of tricky, because like this CBD oil is THC free, so it doesn't have THC in it. So that's kind of the loophole around it. But it kind of makes me think of little things like, I remember Malik Monk this past year. He was put on the anti-doping policy list for marijuana, and he was suspended and fined. And so he was punished for smoking weed. But yet Klay Thompson has a business which is in the CBD oil, realm, and it's going to be promoted. So I guess it's tricky, but I'll throw it out to you guys. Like, what do you feel about this? Is this a contradiction that we're dealing with here? Or
Well, I mean, I was just gonna say that well, Klay Thompson, he's kind of like the NBA poster child in that he's not really ever in trouble. Like, he's a good youth, you know. He's
right,
a good
right.
youth.
I don't know. Him and Drake last year had a little beef.
Oh.
Like, what I'm saying. Okay, so let me give it to you this way. Had Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson, you know, while they were playing, came to the NBA with this brand as well, they probably wouldn't have gotten cleared by it, because, you know, those guys were always like, you know, just in trouble, right?
Any one of the people, yeah.
Right. So I think that has something to do with it too, just the way you're carrying yourself in the league. And another thing too, what Klay is using, you don't really have to smoke it either, right? It comes in different forms. It comes in pills. It comes in different creams.
Right?
Yeah.
So not to cut your train of thought, but keep in mind that even weed, you don't have to smoke weed. You could take it through edibles. There's other forms in which you can still ingest and have the THC. Just letting you know, smoking shouldn't be a premise for why this should be allowed.
Yeah.
But continue. Sorry to
no. I mean, my point, I think, was just just the fact that I think your track record has a lot to do with it. Malik Monk is somebody who kind of just came to the league, and you know, you just came and you're causing this kind of trouble. You know what I mean? Like, you got to have at least build up some sort of rep first before you go ahead and do that. So go ahead, you know.
Yeah. So like, when it comes to Malik, bro, who's your agent, like, or your friend, like? Get a doctor to sign off something medicinally. You know what I mean? Because most players who smoke weed in the NBA, and guys, a lot of players smoke weed in the NFL, NBA, but they have a doctor's note saying that they need this for medical purposes. That's what they can smoke all day. Calvin Johnson, Megatron, he said, I smoked weed all the time, every day, because he hated taking pills.
But did the league know it, Nelly J? That's where it gets tricky.
Well, I'm assuming they know it, but remember, right? If a doctor is saying, if a doctor is saying that this is going to help him with a painkiller, I mean, you know what I mean? But again, I'm not sure if they knew, but he did come out after when he retired and said that he smoked.
That's what I'm saying. So it's always coming out after you retire is kind of different being current. Like Calvin Johnson,
but
Ochocinco came out and said he was taking Viagra after he retired.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So let's keep it real. Like,
but remember, right? Like, back to what Aaron said, it's about how you carry yourself, right? Megatron was a beloved athlete and player. He caused no drama. Well, I mean, in the NFL, right? No one ever, you know what I'm saying? So I guess for him, people were like, you know what? They didn't check up on him. But maybe a player like last week who poked the guy in the eye and got into a fight, maybe he'll get checked. You know what I'm saying? Like, some players are just more policed around in the NBA, NFL than other players. And I think Klay Thompson, unfortunately, because he is like that poster kid, very clean cut, right, clean look. I think the NBA is being biased. It's not fair. I think they should legalize marijuana because, I mean, Canada's legalized, like in Canada, you know what I'm saying? So the Raptors can smoke all they want. In Toronto, I know it's illegal here. You know what I mean?
No, but I don't think they can. I don't think. No, the Raptors can't just light up.
So hold up. So if you're a player in the NBA and it's the off season, you cannot smoke in the off season.
Yeah. Good question. I don't think so. I don't. I think this is a job, though.
Hey, Kyle Lowry, let us know. I'm joking. Email us. Won't tell anybody. But no. But remember, right, guys, they're smoking. Let's be real. Like, I feel like a lot of these guys are smoking weed in the off season for sure. Bouchard, sorry, Bouchard, I'm calling, but I think you probably smoke weed. But anyways,
hey, we don't know. You can't put a man.
I'm joking. It's a joke, guys. A joke. But I'm just saying though, like, I'm just saying players are probably smoking up in the off season and then during the season, whatever. I have some friends that work in the NBA and they say that people do smoke, but they have an actual card that exempts them from that rule. Right. So
I don't. So you're saying because I'm not aware of this. You're saying that a player can light up on the off season, and because he has a card, even if he has a doctor's
medicinal card, it's legal.
It's legal, even though they're an employee of a professional sports Okay.
Because if the doctor's signing off and saying that instead of taking, remember, opioids are so addictive that you can like
die. No, we know this, right?
So it's like the argument is if this person has a certain pain and the only thing that's working out of all these medicines is marijuana. And remember, it won't be like obviously like street drugs. It's obviously drugs that's actually from the doctors, because remember in the States there's actual clinics that actually do have marijuana as pills, as in a form of pills to serve to people for medication. So it's a form of pain relief in the States, and you can actually go to a doctor's office, get a prescription, and get it from a doctor clinic as well. So that's legal. But the issue is that you can't just be smoking weed because you want to smoke marijuana, right? As a social practice, it's only for medical reasons. So in the NBA, players that have medical reasons why to smoke it, they can actually take the medicinal form, whether it's a pill, whatever form it is, and actually ingest that.
Wow.
And that's okay.
Wow. So are you saying that takes place only in the off season or during the season?
No. So what I'm saying is that there are players that are able to take it. Remember, right? Before Klay Thompson even backed this company, he was taking oils beforehand. So he said that the last 6 months he's been taking this medication, the last 6 months, right? And NBA was okay with it because remember, he was injured and was pain relief, so they approved it. And then he said that even now the NBA is being more progressive, and he's like, they're backing him because they understand that society's changing and the historical stigma behind marijuana isn't the same stigma today. You know what I mean? So the NBA understands that, hey guys, remember back in the day, like marijuana was what? A drug for thugs, right? It was very negative context. So I feel like now marijuana is not just for social, it's for pain relief. And a lot of athletes prefer CBD or marijuana versus opioids, right? Which can actually kill you, right? So my thing is that I think the NBA understands this. So let's see, right? They might change what's allowed, but the fact that NBA is backing them up and they were aware of him taking this beforehand, I think the NBA is allowing these treatments of cannabis or cannabis oil if it's justified by a doctor. And the doctor's managing the pill and ingestion rate, right? Because remember, the thing is that a doctor will say he'll take this amount every 12 hours, right? That's okay. But you can't even be smoking it because you want to smoke it. It has to be regulated by a doctor or a physician. And that's why that's okay and it's legal in that aspect.
So with Klay Thompson having this injury, having this CBD oil company, Just Live, Just Live. Okay. So he has Just Live, and he's his own client. So he can do his own testimonial for this. CBD oil being, it's on the rise right now. Okay. So he's going to be the face of the brand, right? Mm-hmm. First of all, where do you guys see this brand going? Just Live, with Klay being the face of it in an emerging market, as CBD oil. I think it's going to be huge.
Yeah, I think him being the face of this is going to be massive. I think he's going to give a lot of athletes an additional option. Like Klay said, it's natural, it's not altered, there's no external toxins in it. I think Klay being the face is going to explode.
Aaron, what do you think?
Yeah, no, I also think that's going to explode too, because he also has the support of a lot of former players. Like I think it's Al Harrington that has his own. I'm not sure if his is CBD as well, but yeah.
But so he's in that realm, right, of cannabis.
Yeah, so right. And a lot of players were secretly doing that while in the NBA before it was allowed. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so I had Klay Thompson at maybe about 85 to 90%, I think, kind of the player he was previously before the injury. Now with this CBD oil, and he's using this, and it is for recovery. Do you think he has a better chance now of recovering and getting to the player he was before, because he's actually putting in an alternative precaution in regards to looking after his muscles during his rehab and really taking care of that injury? Do you think that he's going to come back or increase his chances of being the player he was before?
Yeah, I definitely think so.
You think so? You think it's going to give him that extra edge?
Yeah, because he was saying stuff like how he's sleeping 8 hours a night now. He's just being able to feel different things that he never felt before using this product. And to be honest, Klay's game, I mean, he's a great player, but it's not really based off of a whole bunch of athleticism. So I think he'll be all right with just the way he plays, you know. And I mean, every now and then he might get like, I don't know, a dunk and something every other game or whatnot, but most of his game is that spot up shooting, right? So
well, keep in mind also he's a great defender, right? And defense does take a stance, lateral movement, etc., right? Nelly J, what do you say?
Defense. Yeah, I mean, I'm mixed. I think Klay will have his shooting. That happen, right? Playing basketball, half of it is mentality, and I think when you're in so much pain and you can't sleep, like you said, you can't sleep, you can barely think through things. I think having this oil that can make him feel less pain and be more relaxed and sleep. Like sleeping is so important as a basketball player because on the court you're on like 100% every second, right? So I think this will aid in his healing. However, the physical aspect will still be there and it'll be challenging because remember, like he didn't play ball for so long. Like remember, their team wasn't in the bubble at all. So I think he'll have a very rough start. But I think once he gets into it, I mean, and Golden State, they have a lot of great players like now and stuff will be back. He won't be as straight, you know, like he's the second or third option. So he won't be as important to perform right away. He can grow into it and, you know, get more comfortable and get to it. But, pardon me?
I was saying, yeah, they got Wiggins now.
Yeah, so I think that will relieve some like stress on him to have to perform every night. You know what I'm saying? So I think he can take his time and prepare and kind of just get into it. But I think Klay, he's so competitive. Like this guy hates to lose. So I think if he can kind of maintain his growth and strength each game, by the playoff time, he'll be ready to play in the playoffs. So I think he'll have a great playoff run for sure with the Warriors.
So let's close off for the culture with this. I just want to say, I think that with Klay being the face of this, like right now, I'm just thinking, I can't think of any CBD oil. I know of the term CBD oil, but a brand. Nelly J, you think of a CBD oil brand? No. Aaron, can you think of a CBD oil? No. So we're three people here who know what CBD oil is, but there's no brand to slip in that spot. So now that we have Just Live in there, Just Live is going to, like in regards to branding, that's first one in there. And sometimes it's hard to move when you have a brand by a popular person who's you're seeing on the court and can do testimonials and can tie his performance to the brand. I think this is going to be out the park, but we'll see.
A NBA champion, like that's your spokesman.
No Winning. Doubt. So yeah, that's for the culture. Nelly J, good job with that one.
So Faheem, what was absurd this week, bro? What was absurd?
That's absurd.
That's absurd.
So that's absurd. So first of all, I know we're getting into some absurdity talk right now. First of all, I don't want to be on the start because I think before we get into what's absurd and what he did that's absurd, let's congratulate him. LeBron James won a championship. Can we give it up for LeBron James?
Congrats, LeBron. Good job, LeBron and AD. I would say LeBron and AD because he didn't win by himself. So, yeah.
All right. Well, true. But LeBron James, he made a tweet, and the tweet, which is absurd, is he's saying, "Can we just get a parade?" Hold on. Just 1 second here, Nelly J. I want to pull this tweet up on this because
let's be verbatim, right? I don't want to say what he said. Okay, I found it. Do you have it?
No, hold on. I got it. Here we go. He's like, "Man, can we please have a parade? I know we can't, but damn, I want to celebrate with our Lakers and our Dodgers fans. LA is the city of champions." And then after that, he's like, "Parade, parade, parade," all capital letters, safety with, and then he has the emoji with the mask on. So he's pretty much saying he's down for a parade in a global pandemic. absurd, LeBron. And it's love. It's love.
LeBron, all love,
but
my
that
dear.
tweets-
We love you. But LeBron, we're in a pandemic. We're in a social pandemic. We're in an economical pandemic. We're in an electoral pandemic. We're in a racial pandemic. Like all pandemics all around. And I think also they said that COVID cases actually went up in LA County after the Lakers won because everyone in the street was celebrating.
So, as they should, though. They should.
Hey, if Toronto won, I would have been downtown celebrating too, right? We all would have been. What I'm saying though is that LeBron, like that celebration was the parade. That was your parade right there. That's it. That's it.
You know what? I don't really, and I mean, if you all know anything about me, I'm like the hardest LeBron critic ever. But it's mainly because I respect what he does so much. And with him, I always have to think like there's more. Like every decision he does, every tweet he sends out, there's always an ulterior motive. And I mean, that just even goes to the way he plays too. He always plays the game like 3 plays ahead, right? Same thing with him in just life. He just always plays 3 plays ahead. So anyways, with him, I kind of just give him a pass just because when are you ever going to see both the Lakers and Dodgers win a championship again, right?
Facts.
Secondly, he was just tweeting. I feel like he was just tweeting based off of just raw emotion. Like I think it was like right after they won.
Right.
Yeah, after they won. No, I think it was next day too. Next day as
well. Oh,
yeah.
But still, he's still on a high.
He's very excited and stuff.
Right.
I get that, but guys, like, I get that, but America has so many deaths of COVID. Like, this is so insensitive. I understand what you're saying, Aaron, but it's absurd because people are like, I think over 200 deaths have happened, 1,000 deaths have happened because of COVID. Like, and remember, he was in a bubble, so he hasn't been living outside yet. So he's still in a bubble safety zone, and then in his mansion. He's not the regular Joe that can't afford healthcare. That if they get sick, they can't afford to have the best doctors take care of them. I still think it's very insensitive. And some of these celebrities, because they have a lot of money, they forget that not everyone in the world can get sick and be like Trump and wave in the car and walk around the White House. Like, I think sometimes LeBron forgets that like not everyone can do what he does. And like, again, I'm not saying this because I think LeBron did it in a malicious manner. I'm saying that he was very insensitive towards the general public. And it's very irresponsible to even say, let's have a parade when you know people are actually dying every day of this, especially in America. They're having mass protests every day. Like, LA is a mess. So my thing is like, yes, I get it, you're happy, but there's Twitch, there's there's many ways to celebrate your success on virtual online that won't resort to people actually getting infected and keep potentially dying from this parade. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like he was really being selfish at that moment. Again, LeBron, obviously a very amazing humanitarian, but I feel like at that second, it was quite selfish to do that.
Yeah, I mean, it's human, right?
Yeah.
We're just calling him out simply off the tweet, the absurdity of the tweet, right? Yes. But so
he did say, man, I know we can't, or something to that effect. I know we can't actually go outside and have a parade.
But I want one.
But if you guys follow LeBron on Twitter, he's normally the voice of the general public in that he tweets based off just raw emotion and what he knows people is feeling at the time, whether it's with the Black Lives Matter, whether it's just anything period. So I give him a pass.
So actually, okay, you're giving him a pass, but I just want to keep it in context. So this is what he said. I'll repeat it again. Man, can we please have a parade? I know we can't, but damn, I wanted to. So you're right. From a standpoint of being, because he did state there, I know we can't. So that would then take him away. It's just the thought of, so maybe that's the absurdity, just the thought of having a parade in a pandemic. Go ahead.
We forgot because I think the GM of the Dodgers said, yeah, LeBron, we should try. I'll see what we can do. Like, so that's only one part, but the GM's of Dodgers said, yeah, let's do this. Like, so he's actually like causing people to say, you know what, LeBron, you're right. We should do something. So my thing is that I don't think LeBron again was trying to harm people, but his tweet caused people to say, you know what, we should have a parade. And like, you know, the Dodgers celebration, a player that had COVID ran out on the field without his mask on and celebrated. Like, the Dodgers are irresponsible. And now, like, I just feel like maybe overall it's absurd because I feel like, again, these athletes, I get it, they've been a bubble. And again, you want to celebrate, but my thing is that right now isn't the best time. Like you went into this situation, LeBron, for social injustices to bring awareness to what's happening in the world. You won, great job. You can celebrate, and I think you're a smart man. You can find what to celebrate with your LA fans in a healthy manner that doesn't resort in going outside, because they already went outside and people got sick already.
So we're all Raptor fans right here. When Raptors won, Aaron, were you at the parade?
Oh, listen, that's a crushing story for me because
go ahead.
I was living in Memphis at the time.
Oh.
And I tried to get back home. So I actually had a music conference, composers conference in California, the irony, right? And so I tried to get a flight to come back home from California, realized I couldn't because I had to work the next day back in Memphis. So the plan was to go back to Memphis and then work the day and then try and find a flight right back home for the parade. I ended up long story, I ended up just missing the flight and stuff, and ended up watching the parade from Memphis.
So where in Memphis were you when you watched the parade?
I was at home.
Oh, okay. Okay. Alone? With anybody?
All up in the guy's business though, like that?
No. I just want to see. Remember, this is the Raptors winning a championship. So like, I can't imagine, because I was at the parade.
Memphis, though. They don't care about the Raptors in Memphis.
No, but I was at the parade.
I made them care.
I was there too. I was there.
Sorry?
No, I was saying I made them care about the Raptors in Memphis.
Right. Okay. So I'm just thinking, like, I'm just trying to get a visual. Like, if watching the parade alone would be different opposed to watching it with maybe others, because you're sharing the moment with somebody, opposed to, I just can't imagine. Not to rub it in if you were alone, by the way.
You're like,
yeah. So you're saying that you're pretty much saying that you can enjoy it just the same, or what are you saying?
No, he's wondering where you were, I think, during the Raptors parade.
Yeah, no, I was alone. I wasn't.
You're alone. Okay. So,
yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, the Raptors.
Funny, right?
So go ahead, Nelly J.
But remember, we're talking about how, like, if the Raptors won, our first episode, we talked about how if the Raptors won, how can we celebrate it? Remember this discussion with like Durrell and Danny G, and we're like, oh, it'll have to be on Twitch or something because it's just not safe. And we understand we want to celebrate, but go on your balconies. But I feel like, you know, as a fan, even if they won right now, I'll probably go downtown for sure. But would Ford allow a parade in Toronto? Hell no. There's no parade happening here. It's not going to happen during COVID right now. But I think it's great because I think the Dodgers winning, that was huge for me. Like, they deserved that win. 2 years ago, they got cheated out of it. So I understand why people want to parade. So I'm not saying the want isn't the issue. Like, of course you want to celebrate. Yeah. But LeBron, remember, his status and his leadership is so great that once it's out there, people are going to be like, oh yeah, LeBron's to the parade. Like, people attach to it and they want to do it. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm talking about absurd, is that he's putting the idea out there and everyone's going to want a parade.
I understand. So I'm just thinking in regards to, I can't imagine a parade in COVID, just due to the fact that I was at the parade. I was there at 3 a.m. Nelly J, you came at what time?
4 a.m.
4 a.m. So we were in this, like, literally, there's like the Raptors and quiet the stage, and then there's the rail. I was there at 3 a.m. So I was like in the first row. My hands were on the rail. Oh yeah.
Yo, poor Aaron. He's like, oh my God.
So that's what I'm saying. I feel bad now because you watched it alone, and I'm gonna go into the story.
No. I mean, but remember, it was at like what 11, 12 in the day that it actually took place.
Yeah.
Right.
People were working, right? I think I skipped. No,
I didn't go to work. I was like,
y'all. Yeah, people are at work, so you know.
Yeah. So I was there from 3 a.m. and when I got there at 3 a.m., there's maybe a few hundred people there. And then they just let go of this barricade and let people just rush to the front. So I was like literally front row. Like when Kawhi gave the ha ha ha, I got bumped back. Oh yeah, I was like maybe in the third row by then. I got bumped off the rail, and I was like maybe third row. But I'm just saying, like, that's a moment. So it's always good to hear from Raptor fans of where they were at that moment. Nelly J, you were in that area also.
So I was like in the middle, probably about 10 rows.
10 rows. So you're in right near the front
so
also.
I saw everything, and yeah, like I brought a chair because they're like, you can't bring chairs. I'm like, yo, I'm not a young thing anymore, right? I need my
Right.
chair. So I brought a chair. So I sat down, you know, seeing Gasol hammered was so funny, but that's something that I will never forget, like at all. And I didn't sleep that night. I was so excited for what I saw. Like it was just like a adrenaline rush. So yeah, like
And everyone was so close, and that's probably my
we were
main.
tight.
We were like, I literally couldn't raise my hands. I was like shoulder to shoulder. Go ahead.
I was gonna say that it was actually probably a good thing that I didn't make it back for the parade, because remember how there was a shooting and stuff?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, but that was more in the back towards like
That was toward the back.
My brother, who I would have been with had I been there, was right next to the person that got shot.
Oh, you kidding me? Jordan was? Oh man.
He was there with the person who got shot in the parade.
Yeah, he saw the person, and then they ended up, of course, clearing out that entire area. So they all ran to the train station, which is probably something I would have done too. So I probably would have missed the whole thing anyways.
Wow.
I slept there that night.
Wow.
That's unfortunate.
Well, if you put it like that, maybe it's better you're in Memphis for this. All right. So what do you say?
I said no, I still enjoyed just watching everything. I felt like I was there.
No, for sure.
Listen, that guy was on Facebook and Instagram heavy, Aaron Manswell.
Oh, cool.
Heavy. Just gloating. We all were though. We all were.
All right, let's put this one in the books.
Episode 12.
Episode 12.
Birthday week. Electoral week, everything.
That's right.
So y'all, before we do our shout outs, I got a surprise for Faheem. So
yeah,
okay, so we have a strong supporter who's a Black business owner. They watch our podcast and they're huge fans.
Okay.
So we got a card.
Okay.
For the host because she knew that it was our birthday this week. She saw it.
Okay.
She dropped it off. So it's from Melanin Martha. Okay. And on it says, shout out to the Good Rookies team on successful podcast. I'm not a huge on sports, but I'm all about passion. Keep up the amazing content and stay being you. Chantel. So Chantel, the owner of Melanin Martha, thank you so much. And she gave us, she gave us Good Rookies mug.
No.
She made this, okay? Mug.
Nice.
Okay? She gave us Good Rookies mask, sorry.
Okay.
She gave us Good Rookies phone grip, okay? All made by Chantel, okay? And she gave us a Good Rookies glass, y'all.
Nice.
Melanin Martha.
Melanin Martha.
Martha, yo, thank you so much for this birthday gift. Faheem, man, your thoughts, bro?
Yo, I'm speechless. Like
Crazy,
Melanin
right?
Martha, wow. I don't know what to say. Thank you so much. Like that's saying something. You know, you got listeners who are gonna go out to those lengths for you and actually do something nice for you in your birthday. Like, yo, let's give it up. Let's clap for Melanin Martha. Thank you very much.
Melanin Martha, Chantal, thank you guys. Please check her out. It's at Melanin Martha on Instagram. We'll also have her link to her website. It's Christmas holidays, guys. And you know what? She makes it's very Caribbean folk like focus. So she has awesome items that you can obviously buy. One was Fitzroy, you know, a great Fitzroy, the passion, the old Caribbean name, but definitely support her business. And you can obviously get personalized gifts engraved or like this on the mug and give it to your loved one for the holidays. So support our own, guys.
Sick. Melanin Martha, sick. Thank you very much.
Thank you, girl.
Thank you. Wow, episode 12. It's a special one. Birthday one, gifts, great guest. Yo, we did it up.
Did it all, man.
Nice.
So Aaron, so we'd like to give our guests a chance to shout out anything they want to promote or any type of, you know, family, friend, things like that. So who or what would you like to shout out today?
Shout outs. I'd just like to shout out just everyone making it through this tough time in COVID. Whether you know me or not, I see everybody. I understand what you're going through as far as just loss of jobs, you know, the mental aspect of being home all the time, you know, just being able to stay with your family and whatnot. And just shout out to everybody who's just getting through this time, which is literally everybody. So
nice.
That's huge. That's huge. I'll do my shout out right now. Actually, I want to shout out someone that I think was I think, an MVP of 2020. So Magic Johnson, okay, this guy, people don't know that, but he's also a part owner of the Dodgers. So he's now won as an owner. He's won. So he's a 5-time NBA champion as a Laker. He's a WNBA champion as a Sparks owner, and now a World Series champion as the Dodgers owner. Like magic. This guy's not been playing, but he's still winning. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, in spite of all LA guys, big up Magic Johnson for what you do, bro. Like, you're definitely your hashtag goals. I want to kind of highlight you today on the podcast.
Yeah, that's a good one, because that slipped right by me. And the thing is, I knew he was an owner of the Dodgers, and it completely slipped about Magic winning a World Series along with his other accomplishments.
Sparks, everything. Like, he's
shout out to Magic Johnson, Magic Touch. Good job, man. My shout out is going to be simple. I'm going to shout out Aaron. I'm going to shout out Melanie and Martha. Chantel, thank you very much. And I'm going to shout out my co-host, Nelly J. Birthday week.
Birthday.
That's right. So let's close this one out.
Episode 12, y'all. Good Tuesdays.
Good Tuesdays.
Subscribe, like, share with a friend, share with a friend, share with a friend.
That's right. Good Rookies Podcast. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate your time. We out. Peace.